Hey, I'm Jeremy Ashburn with Push Leads and helping small businesses get more leads without struggle or frustration. And we're talking about a topic today about uploading videos to YouTube. Now, the actual official data that I'm seeing here is about 29% of YouTube, of the AI equation for showing up in Google for AI overview is posting on YouTube. So if you are a local business and you're not posting on YouTube, a lot of us aren't. I wasn't until about literally 3 or 4 weeks ago, because my videos would get 0 views. But guess what? It doesn't matter about 0 views. It matters that you're posting consistently as a blog on your website, as YouTube, on YouTube, etc. So we're going to look here in this little video about how many videos actually need to get more visibility, and grab some of that AI slice of the. So let's look at the number that we already have. We've got about 306 videos on Push Leads. You can go to, you're probably on YouTube right now, or if you're on LinkedIn or somewhere else, you can go to YouTube and see it. And only 2 of these videos have ever been cited in an AI answer. And so, look, we have a lot of content and it didn't make a difference. However, though, in the last 16 days, we've been doing content that's laser targeted. So we did a whole bunch of research and figured out what are people searching for in AI. And then we started making content answering the common questions that people search for on AI. And one of the kind of companies I work with is restoration businesses. So water damage, fire damage, mold damage, you name it. So I did a lot of, content around restoration marketing, restoration SEO, etc. I have a restoration company I've taken from $450 to $650K in revenue. And so, super interesting. But in the last 16 days, we basically, posted 43 shorts, and we also posted some long videos. And so we're going to look at the data here. So let's take a look here. So the first question is, does channel volume drive? So the first question here is, does channel volume drive AI citations? The short answer is no. There's no published study that establishes a view count threshold. And so essentially we have a correlation data of 0. The evidence base is from Otterly AI, March of 2026, where they looked at 100 million AI citation instances over 30 days across ChatGPT, Google's AI reviews, AI mode, Perplexity, Copilot, and Gemini. So many AIs, so little time. But what replaces volume is a per video answer fit. So what that basically means in plain English is making videos answering questions that your customers are asking, or what are people actually searching for. And you have to have an extractable transcript. You have to have chapter structure. You have to have a rich description and regency. So you're posting frequently. And when you're posting, the unit is the video itself. Now for bonus points, you should also have the video embedded on a page or blog post on your site. So if you are a local business and your SEO person isn't talking about video and they're not posting the video embedded in the site, and you might want to consider working with somebody who actually is jumping into the whole AI game. A lot of SEO agencies are very old school and haven't, made the switch, or they're just relying on tools. They're actually not doing the work. And I honestly can't stand that, not doing the work. But I'm going to get off my high horse. So let's look at the correlation with citation frequency. So Otterly AI looked at 100 million instances in March of 2026. And what they found here is that the description length makes a difference. And that was one of the strongest levers. Regency, if you're publishing fresh, that accounts for a third of the equation. If you had hashtags, that's like, 0.2 of the equation. The duration and the likes doesn't make a difference. The view channel count, the subscribers, the video views, none of that makes a difference. So everything that looks like clout, which is sort of like subscribers, views, likes, library size, sits at or below 0. So what does that mean? That basically, bottom line is, if you post videos answering questions and you give value, because AIs love when you give value to the web. Now, not really salesy kind of content, not like, I'm the best SEO company in the world. AIs don't care about content like that. They care about actual data, right? So AIs are like Spock, where it's like, give me the data. That was a really bad Spock imitation. But anyway, so you need to post the video, you need to have a description, you need to be posting frequently, and you need to have hashtags. That's sort of like what we're seeing here. And the crazy thing is AI is kind of leveling the playing field here. So small channels are getting cited. The distribution of AI-cited videos in their channels, about 40% of the cited videos had under 1,000 views. And this is where I keep saying, it doesn't matter that you post a video that has 0 views or has 1 or 5. That's one of the reasons why I stopped posting on YouTube. I'm just like, what's the point here? If you don't post shorts, even when I was posting shorts, I wasn't getting a lot. And it doesn't matter. It's that Google wants to see that you're active, and that YouTube is one of the channels that AIs can easily see that you're posting on. And it's one of the easiest channels for AIs to capture. You don't have to be logged into YouTube just to get, the data, whereas Facebook has multiple layers and blah, blah, blah. So 36% of the cited videos were under 15 likes, and then 35% of the cited channels had under 10,000 subscribers. So the median cited channel had about 41 videos, and our channel has 326. So being 8 times larger than the median channel brought us 2 citations, but not because of volume, because of our targeting. So what actually earns a citation? So the bottom line here is that title, if you have a title, a transcript, and a good description, along with a video where, of course, you're talking, right? It can't just be a slideshow video with no audio. Then that's the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right? So, if the titles mentioned the query, only 2 of our titles did this. It was the strongest signal we observed. When you have a clean, corrected transcript. So, creator uploaded captions run 99% accurate versus if you just let Google sort of do the transcript, and it's like 85 to 95% accurate. So Google and AIs like accuracy. And then chapters and a real description. 78% of the cited videos were cited more than once, and they had chapters in the descriptions. So chapters are kind of behaving like an H2 in a blog post. So super critical. So here's the share of YouTube citations by engine. Perplexity is 38%. Reviews is 36%. Google's AI mode is 19%. ChatGPT is like 4%. Gemini, strangely enough, being a Google product, only is Copilot is 0.5%. So basically YouTube is 29.5% of all AI overview, according to BrightEdge study with 30 million sources. And YouTube is cited 200 times more than any other platform. So bottom line here is that if you are an SEO agency, you need to be getting your clients to be posting on YouTube, or you need to come up with a strategy of getting content, which I've already solved that problem. So that's what happens with Builder. But anyway, so this is pretty wild though. It's all about YouTube. And of course, if you want to show up for ChatGPT, you need to be posting because they sort of highlight more of the Reddit. So here's the next question. How many videos do you need for regular, to show up in regular Google searches? So the volume here is irrelevant too. A properly structured video can earn a rich result. 1,000 badly structured embeds earns 1,000 badly structured embeds earns nothing. 1,000 badly structured embeds learns nothing. 1,000 badly structured embeds earn nothing. And the 2022 golden rule, the 2023 rule still governs. Google shows an AI thumbnail only when the video is the main content of the page. Blog posts with supporting video no longer qualify. And it's all per video work. The schema, the real watch page, the captions, the chapters, the thumbnail, all the video thumbnail, video sitemap, all of that has to be done. And that's just all part of your checklist. So here's your video rich result checklist. Give the video its own watch page. So the page needs to be, so when you're publishing content, the page needs to be on the site. It needs to be an inner hidden page or a blog post. Add the video object schema to the page. The JSON LD works there. And this is what And this is what makes the page eligible for a thumbnail and duration badge. Add a clip or seek to action markup. This produces key moments in the SERP, and upload the corrected captions, not the auto ASR. We know that doesn't work as well. And this feeds Google and every other AI engine. And you need to have a unique thumbnail per video. Google says specifically don't reuse thumbnails. They don't like that. And then submit a video sitemap via Search Console. You could submit up to 50,000 URLs. So if you're doing this over and over again, or you make a system that does this, you're going to be successful. And then what about shorts versus longs? Short-term videos versus long-term videos. Shorts are only accounting for about 5.7% of citations. They're really too short to yield a usable transcript. It's really only cited inside Google services, and all 43% of our shorts are near useless. They didn't show up. Oh man, it brought people to the channel, but it's useless. So it's still fine for the reach and the brand. The long form content, the longs, is 94% of citations. It has enough spoken content to extract from. If you notice, this video is about 10 or 12 minutes. I'm really targeting for videos between 12 to 15 minutes. You have to have chapters which drive citation. The largest cited cluster is like, on average 10 to 20 minutes. So 12 to 15 minutes is kind of your go-to. And then 50% of cited videos were under 8 minutes. What about embedding on the site? Does this help? Yes, for probably engagement. So Wistia has 500,000 session data on shorter time. On longer time is page credible. So dwell time is not really a confirmed ranking signal, but yes, it helps for click-through rate. And the mechanism is clear. BrightEdge measured roughly 30% click-through rate from video object schema thumbnails across 25,000 pages. And they found that a thumbnail draws the eye. And of course, the famous stat is junk. 53% more likely to hit page one is going back to a 2009 claim with no accessible methodology. So our own data with 39 pages, our average Google Search Console impressions pre versus post went from 227 to 557. And then our average position went from 27 to 24. So 145% of keywords per page rose. They actually rose from 13 to 17. So this is sort of us measuring. It's not really enough data for us to say this is it. So there was no control group, so we can't separate the embed effect from normal content aging. And of course, pages accumulate impressions and keywords over months, whether or not you add video. So better pages tend to be the ones that have the videos added to them. So anyway, it's early on data, but that's kind of what we're seeing. So the honest caveat here is that we measured a change, not the cause. Without a control group, content aging and selection bias explain an unknown share of every lift. So it's AI citations are extremely volatile. We saw this ourselves. We saw a video that showed up an AI overview and in one day was gone the next, replaced by a competitor's video. And that's the norm, not the bug. Multiple independent studies converge on a citation's half-life measured in days and weeks, not months. So the change is what we're reporting. We're tracking citation share across a prompt. We're tracking citation share across a prompt cluster over time, and we're not reporting anything as a win yet. And of course, we have the citation half-life across studies, independent measurements of how citations actually churn. Here's a couple independent measurements of how fast AI citations. Sample one, basically we saw from Tracker with looking at 10,000 brands and 7 models. We saw a 30-day half-life. For another sample, we saw 73% of URLs cited once, never cited again. Digital Authority looked at 1,100 URLs and 10.6 were still cited after 28 days. Get Mentioned looked at 530,000 citations, and 69% of those sources changed within 2 days. And then Max AEO is tracking single URLs, and the median was 6 consecutive days cited. And then domain level visibility outlasts URL visibility because the engines are swapping one page for another. So build the site, don't build the assets. A couple more questions. How do engines read a video? They're primarily looking at the transcript. They're looking at the description. chapters, metadata. Google's models also processing Google's models are also processing the audio and structure. So say the target question verbatim. Say the target question verbatim early and answer it inside the first 40 to 60 questions. Should you republish transcripts on a page? Yes, Google permits a video plus its own transcript on the same page. The risk is using that over and over again across multiple pages. Google doesn't like that. What about the length of the video? Roughly 8 to 15 minutes. Duration correlates at only 0.2. Duration barely correlates. So length is not the lever. Having enough substance to report real chapters is, and the largest chapter was, at 10 to 20 minutes. And the local reality check is that Google AI overviews are an informational thing. Whitespark measured 540 manual queries, 92% of informational local queries were triggering an AI overview, and 97% of hybrid intent ones. But the near me searches like plumber near me, roofer near me, water damage near me, they still belong to the map. So that's on direct near me searches, and that's showing up in the map 93% of the time. So transactional demand has not moved yet. But what happens when AI answers show up in the map results? It's probably going to happen at one point. So video wins the top of the funnel. It wins how much does water damage restoration cost? That was one of the ones that we actually were able to get cited on. The Google business posting reviews and the map pack still win the call. So you got to be posting regularly across your site. So what should you do next? Stop counting and start matching questions. Create one video that's 8 to 15 minutes long that answers each question, one question per video. And you want to title the question, and you want to title that as the search. How much does water damage cost? Water damage costs X amount, blah, blah, blah. And you want to we're going to retrofit the 266 long form videos we own with chapters, corrected captions, description, 300 plus word descriptions. And that's essentially zero new production. It'll produce the highest ROI. We're going to fix the embed technicals, the real iframe in the DOM, video object schema, video sitemap. We're going to kill click to inject facades. We're going to build the prompt cluster tracker. We're going to track 50 to 100 prompts daily across 4 engines. Reports show the share over time. And we're going to run a match pair experiment. We're going to be publishing 60 to 80 paired pages, and some are embedded on site, and some are embedded on the site, some are not, measuring that over 90 to 180 days. And we're going to look at differences. And then we're going to protect the fundamentals, the Google My Business posting, the reviews in the map pack. Video is addictive, but not the replacement. So the real answer to how many is roughly one well-built video answering one question worth owning. For our current data, we're saying that works. I'm Jeremy Ashburn with Push Leads, helping small businesses get more leads without struggle and frustration. Talk to you soon. Thanks.